I did it! Alright, do we want to restart this? No, I think we're fine.
Is it going to work?
I think we're okay.
Yes, so in this demo we're going to show you Jesse's transforming service weapon. We'll show you the different forms it transforms into, different abilities and how we use these in different ways, in different places.
Yeah, so this is the demo that we have been showing behind closed doors pretty much, but we built it to have work in progress, and you can't see the work in progress because we are on the screen. Let me just, whoop, there we go. Yeah, so we built this place, well, we didn't build this place, but we repurposed this place for demo purposes for like a free roam kind of experience where you can have fun and explore and look for secrets. And so the oldest house is broken up into different sectors, right? And this sector is the research sector, and this area is...
Central Research!
That was beautiful. And we are playing on PC right now.
We are playing it.
Yeah.
So Clay, who is this gentleman?
This handsome gentleman is Dr. Darling. He is the head of research. And as you can see, he has a lot of fun kind of educational videos sprinkled throughout his sector, where he shows you, introductions to various paranatural topics which the Bureau investigates and delves into in their research. Those are his fun assistants. They are pressing buttons.
Sometimes you gotta press buttons.
Doing soldering.
Like an omelet.
Taking readings.
I love this. Can you do like a developer's commentary of like what is going on?
Holding coffee cups.
Holding coffee cups. Yeah, this is actually a coffee cup that took years to make, I think. So that's a little behind the scenes facts.
Been told to turn up the audio for the game.
Coffee cup.
I'm gonna turn it up a tiny little bit so you can still hear us.
Careful.
There we go. That should be okay. Please shout at me in the chat if it's too loud.
Are you gonna break the TV screen?
I don't think you can break the TV
I just
screen.
wanted to do
Not
some
because-
redecorating.
First thing.
My couch now. This is my couch. Oh, that's... Excuse me, sir, would you like to sit on a comfortable couch? Let me help him. Couch.
Couch meat person. Person meat couch.
Could we have an overview of the sound of the game? Someone asks in the chat.
An overview of the sound.
Yeah, I don't understand the question, but
like how the sound works.
And also the game sound. People are saying that the game sound is low. The game sound is low for a reason. It's because you need to hear us talking over it.
You need to.
You have to. I'm gonna turn it up when we are not talking, which should be in a little bit.
That's right.
It's really low, so all right. There we go. There you go. All right. Is the musical score going to be ambient or fast-paced action-type music?
Ooh, hey, well, guess what? You know what? I think we actually have both.
Yeah, I think we have both.
We actually have a procedural music system which changes the music speed depending on what is happening. So while we're exploring, it's a little bit more ambient and slower paced, mysterious, and then as we get into combat, it actually speeds up, changes pace depending on what you're doing.
Oh, yeah?
Hold on, I just have to show the amazing destructions we have in this game. So this is one couch that I can pick up, right? But you know what? You can also break it down by shooting it into multiple different pieces and pick up different parts of it. And that is just super cool.
That's amazing. We are going to have, actually, next week on the 23rd, we're going to do a stream with our VFX guys who made all of this happen. So like Elmedy and Jim, who have also worked on Quantum Break and are responsible for some of the absolutely crazy stuff that has happened visually in Quantum Break, are going to sit down with me and play a little bit and like wreck stuff and talk about why sofa breaks into individual feathers that explode and stuff like that. Do powers have a cooldown or limit, Paul?
They do have a cooldown. You'll notice in the lower left there's a white bar. The white bar is currently my ability bar. So different abilities have different costs, and some abilities cost a little bit more. And that bar recharges as I'm not using my abilities.
Great. What was I gonna... People are impressed by the physics. The physics are good. Again, this is a work in progress, so if there's frame rate drops, and there might be, please don't come for us. We are working on it. This demo is from, I think, March, so the game looks better now. It looks pretty good this way, but it looks better now. Oh, you could have grabbed that.
I could have.
The choice not to.
Made a conscious choice.
And as the new director, Jessie will have to pay for repairing all this damage she does. So, I mean, she has to allocate the budget and the resources, the man hours to fixing everything. So this is also, something that's going to be coming back to bite her later on.
So when we say that the director's job is never done and that once you finish the main campaign, there's still going to be stuff to do, what we basically mean is there's going to be like
an accounting, like number crunching portion of the game where you just fill out paperwork.
Okay.
That's my favorite part.
Please don't. To the two people watching, please don't take this seriously.
I'm also quite a sarcastic person. So,
yeah, Clay's very sarcastic.
Yeah, don't trust me.
You're not adding additional features.
Additional paperwork features.
I have it all designed out, don't worry.
Can we use the destructible environment to our advantage? Like, for example, can we break walls to drop ceilings?
You can do certain things with the environment. I don't know that we have that situation in this game, but you can grab pieces of it and use that. So like I mentioned, like the chairs that break apart, you can pick up different pieces of the chairs. We also have the ability to increase the size of objects that you can pick up. At the beginning, you can pick up smaller pieces like these chunks of concrete. And then later on, you'll be able to pick up larger things like vending machines and forklifts.
Are you going to go downstairs and pick up the vending machine in the cafeteria?
Spoilers? Are we in spoiler territory already?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Which vending machine? Yellow or...
Yellow. What does that one even vend?
Can I ask the chat? Hey
I
chat,
think
which vending machine do you want us to pick up?
What does the other one vend?
I don't know. Is it a locker? Is it like a... It's
Sounds
great
like
how we don't know this when we all work on this game. It's like, what is this?
An old-timey icebox.
I don't like the way the security camera's looking at me.
Okay, people are saying evil yellow one.
Yeah,
yellow.
old-timey
Okay, here we go.
icebox.
You made a moral judgment.
Oh, you can look inside.
Oh, what?
Solve the riddle.
Come on. Gotta get the
Rotate,
proper
yeah.
view.
Rotate.
Rotate.
No.
What if I come? Hold on, let me set it on this table.
Right now, open the door. No.
Come on, maybe if I...
There we go.
Okay, what's inside?
Oh, okay. This is the mystery.
Mystery.
The Viola's house is full of mysteries, as you can see.
Will there be some
This is my vending machine.
Sandwiches, maybe? Like, those like old kind of
I think I can place it right here.
Sandwich dispenser.
What are the controls like at present? How do they feel? Like, I can speak. I'm going to start because I've read the questions. So I have that privilege. Like, I can speak for myself, and I can speak from what I heard from like people in playtest saying and press saying, and like other people who we had to play the game. The controls so far feel very intuitive. Like the main thing is like hold and release. Right? Am I saying that right, Paul? You want to take over?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the intents behind the design of controls that we make sure that we have really snappy and empowering feeling controls. So when you want to do something, we want to make sure that you can do it right when you want to do it. So we have pretty quick and snappy controls. Another thing is that you gain powers over time, and I wanted to make sure that you don't feel overwhelmed at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So one of the things... Hey, sir, you dropped this. Excuse me. So we wanted to make sure that we don't just give you a whole bunch of controls all at the same time, but that you kind of learn them over time. Some of the feedback that we got at PAX was a lot of really positive feedback saying, wow, these controls feel great, they feel really intuitive, they feel really snappy and easy to learn. That's exactly what we were hoping for.
Nice. So, although you are hiding behind cover, this isn't a cover shooter, and we encourage people to like jump into the fray because there's no automatic health regen, and you have to, that white stuff that enemies drop, though, that like gives you health back, and it gives you other perks and benefits and things. Play, quick question. Where did the inspiration come from while making this game? There is one thing that we quote specifically.
Yeah, I mean, Annihilation, Jeff Vandermeer. The whole Southern Reach trilogy in general is full of very kind of this new weird genre that explores a lot of the, first of all, like the kind of mundane aspects of a bureaucracy that investigates these pretty much forces that you cannot understand. You know, they try their dangest, but really...
Whole language.
They try their gosh dangest, but I mean, it's just like at some level, some of these things cannot be understood, and they're doing their best to grapple with them here, but like, you're going to see a lot of stuff here that is hard to explain in a very cool, interesting, and weird way. Twin Peaks is also a very big personal inspiration for me.
Yeah. That's a good, I feel like, oh, there's some floaty people in here as well.
They're napping.
I know.
They're gonna be okay.
Yeah, because like I'm gonna switch to narrative chat, Skynaps. that's me on a plane.
Now that's what they're called now, Skynaps.
Skynaps.
If you would like to take part in Skynaps, purchase Control.
Go to controlgame.com.
Controlgame.com.
Skynaps out now.
I wanted to ask actually about narrative and leave Paula to can't think of a mess around. Thank you. I was like, what is the PG-13 word for mess around? Mess around. And like the thing is, like, we say that New Weird is an inspiration, and we say that Annihilation is an inspiration, but like a lot of people, that's pretty inaccessible to a lot of people who don't know what those things are. So like, can you explain it a little bit more? And also, Paul, do you want to go upstairs and find one of the central research sightseeing things?
I would love to.
All right.
Yeah, so a lot of, genres like science fiction, fantasy, horror, they usually in some way have a resolution or have a vehicle to really explain the concepts explored in those franchises. And New Weird is kind of more about the experience, and it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So, it'd be like Star Wars, where you don't really get an explanation as to really why anyone is jumping around or having doors made of light. It's just kind of more about them trying to grapple with these concepts, but to a degree they're so alien to the human mind that it is just beyond access.
Yeah.
And, so it's more about just finding their way through that, kind of like a human way of navigating those bizarre circumstances or situations, as opposed to, like in science fiction, where you always get a very clear-cut, here's how this thing works exactly. That's pretty much the top of most sci-fi franchises.
My favorite.
If you haven't read Southern Reach Trilogy,
where did it go?
Go out and read it.
Yeah, the Southern Reach trilogy,
it's a good read. The movie's pretty good too, but I always like books.
The movie, Annihilation, the Netflix movie, is a good movie because it's in the spirit of the book. For me personally, it's not like a direct adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, oh gosh, ooh, there's a bunch of questions. Yeah, thank you for that explanation. That was really good.
I was a little rounded it.
Well, it was.
I got there in the end, I think.
Yeah. So but basically, the bottom line is, we don't want to explain everything. We don't want to be like, so this is how the sausage gets made. We want to leave stuff open to interpretation.
Exactly.
Right?
There's open-ended questions. Buying this game is still going to be mystery, and it's going to be kind of up to the audiences to piece together these theories, kind of like the Bureau does. There's these hypotheses on how these things work, but at the end of the day, they're not 100% positive. So you'll find breadcrumbs in the game that allow players to kind of make up their own theories on how all these things interconnect and behave.
Well, I feel like I'm patting my own back when I say that's really cool, but that's really cool.
It is really cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we get excited about the things we work on.
Yeah.
That's why I come here every morning.
Yeah.
The Finnish morning. American night, as they call it.
American night.
Where are we now? Oh, I love this. We put that in the gameplay trailer, and I love that was at the end of the gameplay trailer. By the way, Control Remedy on YouTube has all the videos. Pick it up again.
Pick it up again, Paul.
Pick it up. I'm gonna shine it on the walls.
Mm-hmm. But that lamp's...
Oh, the lamps.
Yeah. Lamp's feeling left
My
out.
abilities are a little bit too powerful.
That little book cart righted itself, and I feel like it deserves a little round of applause. I'm like, it was tumbling, and then just kind of was like, you know what?
Well done, bookshelf.
Do what I am.
A very good
A
bookshelf.
bookshelf.
So where are we now? What is this place, Clay?
This is, I believe, Dr. Darling's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where one of those people who's trying their darndest to figure out all these mysteries is doing just that. And as you can see, he's made a mess of it. He's a messy worker. He thrives in chaos. And this is his attempts to understand some very classified material that I will not go into.
But what is his zodiac?
Um,
I've asked you this before. I feel like I've asked you this, and then you made it up, and then you were like, he's a Cancer, and I was like, and then you said, I don't know anything about astrology.
I think he's more of a Capricorn because I don't know what that one is, but it sounds the neatest. Capricorn is like a fun version of a unicorn. But Capra?
Isn't Capricorn's like the goat?
No, isn't
Anyway.
Capricorn.
Goat, like so, like a unicorn, but a goat with a horn.
And then, because you said that there's going to be stuff, I'm sorry that I started talking about astrology, I apologize.
No, I just can't stop thinking. Goat horns.
I'll have to watch this video now.
Do a birth chart for every single major NPC in the game.
I mean, I could.
No.
I just haven't. But if that's a good use of my time, we will do it right now.
So, right, Paul, you picked up a document.
Yeah,
Can we look at what it is?
I believe so. So let's go to our collectibles. In here, we can actually read some of the lore that you'll find in the world. We'll have different narrative items that you can explore and pick up, and they'll flesh out some of the backstory of what's really going on here in Hero of
Mm-hmm.
And this is like an altered item, and for those For those who have seen the E3 demo, if you remember, Jesse found a gentleman sitting in front of a fridge, and this document actually refers to that item.
Very panicked gentleman
Yes.
sitting in front of a very menacing fridge.
Yes.
Yes.
And that fridge is actually, now it's like an actual side mission in the game
Okay.
about solving the fridge, right?
Yes.
You can talk about that a little bit, but don't spoil it.
No
Okay.
spoilers.
Spoilers, but no, there's like everything in the bureau. Jessie will encounter these situations that are ongoing as she's going about her own journey, and she can stop and find a way to solve them as best she can. I mean, the fridge is a weird one. No two ways about it. It's gonna be a strange one for folks, but it's a very cool, interesting side mission. And I think a lot of people are gonna like it.
I've seen it. I know.
It's really neat.
There
Weird
was
fridge.
Sorry.
Sorry, weird fridge. I don't
Weird
know.
fridge.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited I get to talk about weird fridges.
Can you
At my
pick up?
job.
Can you pick up the water cooler? Cool.
Believe-
There was
Oh,
No.
apparently
I
not.
broke it. In progress.
Progress.
We only have 30 minutes to finish playing this, but don't go to the
Oh,
left. We'll do
okay.
that in another stream. We have
That's
to leave
right.
some secrets.
That's right.
Made a mess of this
I will
place.
show you the.
There are janitorial staff that's gonna have to fix all this.
Yes.
And
You know what? This wasn't me.
you're
This
new.
was.
Jessie's the new boss here, and you can tell she's gonna be super popular.
It's
How
because of the
she's-
hiss. If the hiss wasn't here, we wouldn't have this now.
Guess we can always blame it.
Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Blame it on the hiss. So Wendy of Mars in the chat is asking, will there be environmental puzzles we will need to use our abilities to solve and try, not necessarily, I can speak, and try, oh, whoa!
Right to the face.
Oh no!
I was so interested in hearing this question that I was not doing very well at video gaming.
Well, there we are.
And we're back.
We're back. We're gonna hang out in this corner a little bit
Yeah.
while it loads and Jesse respawns.
That's right.
Yeah, so there was a question, Clay, about I need to scroll out a little bit. About will there be environmental puzzles where we will need to use our abilities? There we go, we're back.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have puzzles that require Jessie to definitely think outside the box with how to, solve those things. And so we've got some fun content for secret finders, the people who like secrets.
So how did someone so young become the director of a secret government organization? Asks Splitgap. Will that be addressed in the story, or are we just in the hot boss dimension? I don't know what that means.
Well, there's a lot of dimensions.
Whatever that is, I'm excited for it.
No, it's part of the story, and it is addressed as to how Jesse becomes the director. I'm not sure if you want to give that away here.
I don't think
it's
so.
It's a fun part of the story.
Yeah.
And you'll see. I don't know what the hot boss dimension is. Sounds like a pretty crazy place to be, but I don't think we're in that one here. There are a lot of dimensions here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 dungeons. Plus the house.
There was another question. If we can answer it. Can we talk about UI at all? Like customizing the UI, customizing the subtitles, colorblind mode. Is it too early to talk about that? How's that going? That's like still very much in progress, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have the details complete. Ooh.
Oh no!
Oh no. I don't think we have the detail of it, but I'll try to go. But we have this enemy called the healing orb, which is very concentrated hiss.
Called his cluster.
His cluster. There you go. That's the official name.
If you want to use
Design
the
names
If you want to
and
use them.
narrative names, you know. We speak a common language, but it's not always the same.
The thing which heals you is
Yeah.
what we do.
The thing that heals.
This thing to appear, but it's the big red spooky sphere that you'll see, and this enemy serves to kind of heal enemies. And so whenever that's around, you usually want to target that first because it's buffing the enemies and making them a lot harder. But once we got the compel ability, which allows you to compel enemies and
It's called Seize now.
Seize, that's right, the change.
Yeah, it's called the Seize ability, which you can also demonstrate if some enemies spawn around here.
Seize is a better word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much my job is opening a thesaurus.
Yeah, your job is going like,
Yeah.
no, this is what we're calling this thing now, and then everyone going like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I go on streams to correct people.
So right now I can press X to seize this enemy. Now he's my best friend. Now he's going to go and attack these other enemies. Since he's on my side, which is cool because he draws their attention. And so the healing orb, when I use Seize on the healing orb, it'll actually heal me instead since I've pulled it over to my side. And that was kind of one of the happy coincidences of taking something that we had kind of planned for, but then making it even better. So in terms of like the aha moment, that was one of them where it just made sense, you know, it just made perfect sense to be able to seize this enemy that's buffing and the other enemies, and now it's going to buff you. But in the whole game, a lot of it was just lots of small tuning and tweaking to make all of these different systems come together. Really nice.
I don't. What was like a? Can you pick up?
Oh.
Can you pick up bodies? By the way,
Yeah.
the animation. Oh, okay.
And also throw them.
So
Voluntary
when
yoga.
you convert enemies to your side, like when you seize them, is that for a certain time only? Is there a timer? Is there like a certain number of enemies that you can seize? How does that work? I know that like it's still.
That's
Yeah,
a
go
really
on.
good question. So the way we balance and account for that, I'll show you an example when I seize this enemy. So his health bar gets refilled up totally, but then it will start draining slowly over time. So they can only be out for a certain amount of time. His health. Oh wait. Oh here. But in the
There he goes.
there he goes. So they'll last for a certain amount of time. But what's cool about this is you can actually upgrade that ability.
Yeah.
So that they'll last longer in
Yeah.
combat.
So yeah, there's a question about DLC. Concerning DLC, we are currently 100% focused on shipping the main game, so we're not really ready to talk about DLC yet. But the DLC. If the mic is cutting out, I cannot help that. I can move it a little bit. Can you move the mic a little bit towards us, please?
Sure can.
Lagging?
I think it's okay.
Did that help?
Did that? We can
Did that
turn
help?
ASMR. No, we can't. Yeah. Okay. So he's got a health bar now.
Yeah. Now you can see it slowly will drain over time, and the more damage they take, the faster it will drain. And again, you can upgrade that in your ability tree so that they last way longer.
Very
Good questions.
Can Jessie get different hats, Clay?
different hats.
Yeah, different hats.
Who's asking this question?
Yes, actually, she can.
She can get different outfits.
Yeah, she can get different outfits. I think some of them include hats. If I recall correctly.
I think some of them, at least.
Yeah.
I think at least one of them has a hat, as
Yes.
far as I remember.
Yeah, so it's more different outfits than like she's not gonna get a sombrero.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we have different outfits, and they can include hats, but we don't have individual separate hats.
Yeah, including but not limited to hats.
This is the most important.
Warning may contain
They
hats.
contain hats.
They contain hats. Oh, can you discuss how materials and crafting will work in the game? We can talk about a little bit about mods and stuff, but just a tiny little bit. There will be a stream in May where we can go further into this, but once you get somewhere where you're not being shot at, Paul, you can have a look at the menu, because we did pick some stuff up.
Excuse me, sir, again, you dropped this. Please just keep.
I think if you go into the bathroom, they won't follow you.
Oh,
Because
oh
they're very
that is the
polite.
women's
is
bathroom.
correct, okay.
The hiss are nothing if not polite. They will not follow you into a restroom.
Well, luckily we also pause the game when you bring up the menus. Yeah, do we want to talk about customization a little bit?
A tiny bit, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, here we have the different weapon forms. Again, we have one service weapon, but you can change and customize its different forms. And each one works a little bit differently. And then along with these forms, you can add and customize different mods, which change how the weapon behaves.
Yeah.
So for example, this one will increase my ammo regeneration by 40%, which is actually good. This one will increase my weapon damage, and this one will increase my rate of fire. So by combining different combinations of these, we can kind of tune and customize how your weapon forms behave. And there's also character mods, and the character mods change kind of more about how your player behaves.
Mm-hmm.
So this will increase my health. This one increases my stamina regeneration speed, so I can use my abilities more frequently. And this one increases my essence health restoration. So as I'm picking up the little white
Glowy things? I don't know what they are.
Yeah, little white glowies.
Shapes.
As I damage enemies, they'll drop these little white glowies, and then as I get close, I will pick those up and those will heal me. So it provides this risk-reward system for players. I can do damage to enemies, but I won't heal until I run up and pick up the energy that they've dropped. So it's a nice... Yeah. Keeps you up close and personal with the enemies. I want that. Did that sort of answer the question? I can't remember what the
I
question
think
was.
that answered the question. Yeah, the question was
Crafting, I believe, was the focus.
crafting. Yeah, crafting
Oh, that's
and
right.
mods. That's
About
pretty much what
mods,
we
yeah.
said.
Yeah, so I guess to answer that a little bit clearer, certain enemies will drop certain types of crafting materials,
Yeah.
and you can combine those in different ways to create different items and upgrades.
Yeah.
So that encourages you to go out into different sectors, because different sectors might have a different enemy type that has a higher chance of dropping the resources. So you really want to get out there and get that too.
So this is the research sector, right? So Clay.
Fact.
Fact.
True.
Fact.
True
This is the
story.
research sector. Can you give me some more facts about the research sector, Clay?
The research sector was founded in, I don't know actually. That exists in my head somewhere, but I've locked that part away. The research sector, yeah, it's kind of like we said with the, talking about Dr. Darling, the head of research. It's where they really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of examining these kind of strange, otherworldly materials and objects and forces, trying to figure out kind of what makes them tick and also how they can implement them into their bureau. Because, they're not just trying to gather data on these things, they're learning about how they can actually incorporate it into their processes, how to use it to contain and control otherworldly forces.
Yeah.
Real quick, here's an example of one of the crafting resources right here that I can pick up.
Intrusive pattern.
Oh, can we go downstairs? Can we check this out?
Yes. But I gotta warn you guys, it's gonna get
weird. So when I talk about, they're trying to learn how to use these paranatural objects and forces to contain other similar forces, this is kind of what we're talking about. Elevator. Active threshold.
What does that mean?
We're in another bathroom.
I love, like, this level design is impeccable, that the elevator leads straight down into the bathroom. That's what I want in my architect.
I mean, it is a shifting place.
It may not have
true.
originally, this is just something that happened. But, so this is a threshold. This is kind of where the oldest house, which is this place that bleeds into other dimensions, this is like one of those...
Please break it. Can you break the toilet?
This is one of those spaces where those dimensions leak in and kind of their physical properties and laws bleed in with our own. And you kind of see the result in this, like, very disgusting, otherworldly, rapidly growing mold that the Bureau has to find ways to contain, because otherwise it will spread and keep spreading. And this is kind of what they're in this oldest house for as well, is to keep these things contained and at bay. Now we have some folks who are quite so lucky down here.
These guys are a little bit tough.
I forgot that they're tougher, and also when I first played this, I didn't know that they were there, so I was like, oh, that's a pretty desk. Can I pick this up and read this? And then I turned around, and there was 5 of them behind me.
And so it's not a safe place to work, obviously. I mean, this used to be a very regular, boring, let's say, HR department, possibly. And now, look what it is like.
It's less boring.
Yeah, the people who were working here, they didn't exactly expect this, did they?
HR.
No, it's the spookiest HR department.
Let me see if I can log into this computer.
Hack the emails. This is what hacking is.
That is what hacking is, yeah.
So Mr. Robot was a clear influence as well, and this is kind of what we took out of that show, was the hacking. Because that's how I think Mr. Robot does it.
I usually hack by throwing the computer up against the wall.
Yeah.
I love how these things just explode open.
Pressurized.
Yeah.
Oh, the lighting is beautiful. Thank you so much. Our lighting department will be very happy to hear that, because they work incredibly hard and they care so much about lighting things well.
They do.
So.
They do have fun.
Yeah, like the kind of scorching on the mold here, where they've tried to burn back the mold to keep it from spreading. You can see the lighting there is just fantastic.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, they've been trying to contain this like the only way they know how, which is honestly just, kind of control burns.
Kill them with fire.
It hasn't been working, but they're kind of best option right now.
Yeah, there's some environmental storytelling that I think yours will be fine that helps explain some of this stuff a bit more depth.
There was a question if there is, I think I'm gonna let Clay take this. There's a question if there is a melee version of the service weapon.
Melee version, as in a melee ability? With the service weapon?
I think they mean a sword.
Oh. Not currently, no. But I mean, the service weapon has had many forms throughout its history.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just kind of the latest iteration of a object that has gone through many different forms. So who's to say and hold in the past? That was really ambiguous.
But like from a like a narrative. Oh, look at it zoom.
There it is.
From a narrative perspective, yes. I mean, this has the Bureau theorizes that this weapon has been found throughout history, like in weapons of great importance in real life and as well as mythology. So Excalibur, the Mjolnir, these kind of weapons that demand worthiness in their person, as well as weapons that kind of can change form depending on what the kind of collective unconscious thinks of when they think of the word weapon at that time. These kind of forces gravitate towards people's opinions and their beliefs, and they're affected by them as well. So, because we live in this modern age where guns are the epitome of a weapon, this is kind of the form it's taken.
Yeah, so it's only from a gameplay point of view, it's only ever going to be a gun in the game. But from a narrative point of view, it has been different things.
It has been different things,
yeah.
and it will be different.
So you'll notice
In
now
the
my
future. Beyond Jesse.
You'll notice now my health is recharging at a really good rate of speed. As I take damage, you'll see my health recharging. That's because I've compelled the his cluster.
You've seized it.
Nice. Thank you.
You were so close.
And now I can go Super Saiyan since it's now buffing me, so I can go nuts for donuts.
Super Saiyan is a game term as well.
Yeah, Super Saiyan
It is an official industry term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like no bueno.
Hair is the same though. Gold.
Not yet.
Yeah. One of the outfits.
Oh, I was going to answer this one in the chat, but I think, Clay, you can answer it. Or, I will leave it to you if you want to answer it, or if you want to run out of the room and go, oh, I have to go.
No, next.
Next
Pass.
The question
Pass.
is any of this happening in real life, or is it a simulation, or spoilers?
I almost
good
want
question.
to. I almost want to answer this one just because I.
Yeah, these people have really good questions.
Who are these?
Who
But,
are
who's
these
asking this?
people?
So the oldest house is a place
I wouldn't reveal
where
too much.
things are bizarre and dimensions bleed in, like I said. And there's a lot of theories from the Bureau about kind of how these things are truly coming into our world. And a lot of that does kind of work with some theories about, is it real?
Right.
And, it's just theories. And that's the thing with, again, the Bureau is that none of the theories are necessarily right or wrong. They are, at the end of the day, just theories. These are forces that are very difficult to understand. So you will see people with that point of view, but, you might have a guy right next to him at the next desk over who thinks that person's an idiot. And
Right.
that all this is very real. And that, if it wasn't real as having imaginations, then it wouldn't be this terrible. This impactful.
So basically your answer is maybe.
I'm saying in a very long maybe, yeah.
Okay.
As someone who, plays around with these ideas, I like to hang on it.
I love that the question is it real? Is it fake? Is it like a dream? And you're like, maybe.
Here's a
Maybe to all of
3-paragraph explanation on maybe. Yeah. But I mean, that's what they're trying to figure out too, kind of.
Yeah.
They don't have the answers. Neither do I.
So
But this is your job, Clay.
Well,
It's your
my job is
job.
to write these people, so if they don't know, then I can't know. That's how writing works, right? It's like method acting.
Yeah.
I become Jesse.
this is a very important question. Also, Paul, can you go upstairs or downstairs? I forget where it is, to the acoustics research lab?
Yes.
I think it's upstairs.
There are.
Oh.
The question is, there are actually 2 in this area.
So, Clay, are there going to be people to interact with in the game?
Yes. I mean, there's plenty of characters. We haven't included them in this space just because we don't want to give away too much of the story in the demo, but we have characters that, provide additional story, as well as a lot of context for this world and, what they're trying to accomplish here. So, none of this will be left too in the dark. You'll have people helping you kind of figure out things along the way. And they're all very fun and weird people in classic Rimby fashion.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got some great characters.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome.
That is a narrative item that doesn't work in the demo. It just does a neat animation. But the acoustics research lab does play music.
It's gonna get real weird.
So the Bureau obviously subjects people to a lot of very strange things. Voluntarily, of course. They sign a liability waiver, but one of those things.
Oh.
Only wrecking everything.
Yeah, accidentally. I feel like it's very purposeful.
So we've named some characters. We've talked about Pope. We've talked about a little bit about Marshall. We've talked about Trench. Obviously, oh, there it is. There we go.
Okay.
You have to do another one
Well,
now.
Okay, there it is.
You can definitely. There's room for
face.
improvement, so maybe try that again.
Yeah, let's try that again
those.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard. Okay. Well,
There's one
let's
right
try
there.
here.
Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Incorporate the stud into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna be the other eye.
Some of your masterwork. Oh. Okay.
This is gonna be
It's
a
not
less.
really
A less
That's a neutral
smile.
face.
This is neutral face. It's easier than doing smiley faces. It's really hard to do this on the controller.
That's really bad. All right.
Get a mouse.
There we go. Mouse would be much easier. Here we
You're
go.
one of those people.
I'm just saying for smiley faces.
My mouse.
Usually very much enjoy comp.
Oh, about the concrete slab textures, one of my favorite things is I was talking to Unsi, who is one of our longest standing employees, and what are you doing?
He will turn off in 5 minutes.
Oh no!
Unless we press a button.
Please press the button and don't
I don't know which button. to
Let's-
press.
Okay.
press
Okay is a neutral one. Right?
that one. There we go. Did it.
You did it.
Yeah, so I was talking to Ansi, who is like one of our longest standing employees. He's worked on Max Payne 1, he's worked on all of our games, and he's like, he knows everything. You ask him something and he knows, and if he doesn't know, he will figure it out. He is a genius, and
Yes, still behind.
I do.
Where?
No, I'm kidding.
This gun shoots through cover, by the way.
And we were looking at like he was showing me, I have no idea what he was showing me, but he was like,
Right in the tree.
I don't like this brutalism. It's all too grey. We have to make it different. And then he uploaded a texture of someone's eye, because like we scanned the actors, right? And then there was like a picture of Courtney's eye, and then he put it instead of the concrete slab texture, so that all of the walls were like eyes.
It was terrifying.
That is terrifying.
There were eyes everywhere.
Yeah. Get behind that.
Can you smack down the floating bodies that don't spawn into enemies?
I think you can do damage to them and remove them, but I don't know if we have explicit smacking down of
Yeah, we need to define
said
smackdown.
bodies. This isn't WWE.
No. What would Jesse's wrestler name be? Clay, go.
Ooh.
Red Thunder.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Red Terror or
Yeah.
something.
Oh! I've never been here. Can you go in here?
We
Let
can.
me say about the leather
my
jacket
gosh.
on them.
It's your game. Play it how you want to play it.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
This is
That's what we are
quality.
trying to do.
Did auto for the company? Play like you want to play it.
Play it like you like to
Um,
play video games.
And, like,
With
are there
ours.
areas inaccessible at the beginning of the game that we'll have to backtrack to later? Or is it more of a linear experience?
We have. So yes and no and partially yes. So we have areas that you can't get to yet that you'll need to return to once you get certain abilities or certain keys or certain other things that happen
Yep.
within the events of the world. But some of the missions are also linear enough so that you can just complete a mission and that it shouldn't be super confusing.
Yeah.
So we have kind of a healthy mix of a certain amount of linearity with a certain amount of open worldness that explore and find new places
Well,
that you.
Open-endedness, not really open worldness. Like, it's not that huge. It's not God of War. It's not Far
Right.
Cry.
It's not Far Cry.
No.
Some nice interconnectedness to the level spaces.
Yeah. I think someone says achievement achieved. Make smiley face to wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that would be an interesting achievement
That
to try
would
to
be
figure
good.
out how to track.
And can Jesse like levitate indefinitely?
No, there is a limited amount of levitation-iness. You can upgrade that to allow you to levitate for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm noticing that like when you levitate, your ability thingy, as it is officially called. Sorry.
The bar.
The bar. Thank you. I forgot. I forgot the name. I forgot the word. It doesn't move.
Correct. It does not. It does not pull from your ability bar when you use levitation. So we have a separate limiter for levitation. That was actually an interesting design problem to solve. Was how do you have one bar for all of your abilities without it being overwhelming or feeling like you always don't have enough ability bar? And so levitation was one of the ones we actually separated from the ability bar, so that you can kind of have your own gauge for it and you don't have to feel like you're pulling away from your abilities.
Which is great because flying is super fun in this game.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, once you get it in the game, I do not want to stop flying.
Yeah.
A battle royale here. We need to compel some more people. I need some more helpers.
Like you shouldn't say battle royale.
Oh.
I mean, because
Yeah,
people
that's-
are like,
That's true. It means
Yeah.
something different now.
Control Apex Knights.
Battle royale confirmed in control. No, it's not.
No, please, please.
Abort.
We do not have, for the record, we do not have a battle royale mode for control.
Right, there is a question. Have we shown the mirror maze? The next stream will be April 23rd, if I'm right, and I think I'm right. And that's when we'll be showing the mirror maze. We've shown Dr. Darling's office, we've shown one of the acoustic research labs, and we've shown the active threshold. So we've seen stuff. We've seen a lot of stuff. There's
Things and stuff.
things and stuff. Stuff and things.
You are going to be my best friend.
Another question. Is the entire game clay inside this building, or are there areas in the outside world?
The entire game takes place in the oldest house, but that does not limit you to just what you see here. That much.
That's a good answer. I'm doing thumbs up.
This place is ever.
There is a question that keeps repeating. It's, will there be an FOV slider? Do we know? I think we're still working on it,
I think
right?
we're still working on that. We want to make sure that if we give you an FOV slider that we do it the right way and that it doesn't cause issues or people be sick.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
And third-person games, it can be a bit tricky, but we're working on it.
There's a bunch of people who get seasick from third person. Oh no!
I need more help.
From third person video games, like I get seasick. I have trouble with motion sickness a lot. Oh, wasted.
Owned. It is
So-
a real live demo.
It is a real life demo.